tujaza bakabiwa neba conversation osobola omanya n'okuyiga ye intention ati wali talina recognition gataba vubuka bamukola tulina mission atisika tejirabe nga platform egenda okuteeka artistic gwe ku form.
As with every industry, women are often hesitant to go into it or to express themselves in it. And as a woman who has, killed it out force, in this space, who has done everything. I was just talking about how you filled in, you got into Ketura's shoes at the magazine, and just like, wow, and you've done this for years. Yeah. So how does that, we know that there's issues of like support, you have a support system, so that personal space where you are encouraged by your folks and all of that, but systemically there are also issues that I know even you Siima still grapple with.
Yeah.
So that's what I want us to kind of get into.
Yeah.
Where do you think that we could do more work to ensure or to try and kind of close this gap?
We need more women pulling women up behind them. I was very lucky when I was picked to be the editor of Flair after Ketura Kamagasa. At the time, I was on radio at the time at Vision Group, but I was working in the marketing department. I was a creative director, and my boss at the time was Susan Sibirwa. And so I had been, told, okay, this is the job. We think you can do it. So of course I had to go to her because I was going to be leaving her department. And any other boss might have said, no, I don't want you to go. But she was like, do it, go.
Yeah.
She encouraged me. And luckily I was still working with her because she was head of marketing. Much as I was working in magazines, we had to work together. It's important for women when you get into a space where you are a manager or you're listened to, you're at the table, you need to bring more women to the table. You need to bring them up, you need to encourage them. And I'm so lucky that I got to work with someone like Susan, even long after leaving the company, she's still somebody who is, she brings people into that space. So one thing that will change is that once the women get into that space, because you know the narrative, women bosses, they're terrible, they hate on other women, all of that stuff. We need to move away from the space of feeling threatened.
Right.
Yeah. Right. By other women, even if it's younger women who are coming up, pull them up. Yeah. Pull them up because you are in that space now. Yeah. And you're not going to be in that space forever.
Right.
Who is going to go back? Who is going to replace you?
Yeah.
What difference can you make whilst you're there, a difference that can last long after you've gone? So I'm hoping that more of that happens, particularly in the creative space. Women are so much more than, I've told you before, when I would tell people that I'm a musician, they automatically assumed that I'm either a singer or a dancer. People don't think that women are instrumentalists. They're composers. Yeah. They're in production. They're women who are producing music, So I'm hoping for a time when we just get more women pulling other women up into the space, because definitely we change things and we make things happen.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you push for that and encourage that. And I think that it is a challenge, but most of the times something that we don't think about. And that I think that I also want women to change is to not go into these spaces. So for example, if I become the first manager, first whatever, all of those hierarchical things.
Yes.
Are great. We need women out there. But then I want for women to be able to, or there is need for women to be able to come to it once you have that access and power to approach it from your own perspective, to not be afraid to go off the script, because
Yes.
a lot of the times why these things people can talk about, yeah, women bosses are the worst.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
The why most of the time is because in a patriarchal society, even when women come into these spaces, they are coming in with the script of how the men do it, right? So they're trying to embody that male boss energy.
Yes.
Which half the time, more than half the time, let's be honest, it's toxic, it's abusive, so we are most of the time coming in and copying from these terrible scripts.
Yes.
And reproducing the same thing because that's what we think it's supposed to be.
Because as a woman, your empathy is seen as a weakness,
Right.
not a strength.
Right. You're just like, how can you be a boss?
You're weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And it's true, doing it your own way. Because I remember when I started editing Flair, I know I stepped on a lot of toes because the women I was profiling were not the women who people thought
Heads of
should be.
investment and
Yes.
PTC.
I was like, no, the women who are reading this magazine, they, of course, we want to know about the women who have made it, the older ladies, but I can't relate. I want to know about Nancy Kachungira. How did she get to where she is? I want to know about Jackie Chandiru, someone whose music I listened to. Where did she go? What happened? Jackie's story changed my life because the narrative that we were hearing was not the truth. People had written her off as a drug addict, and I was like, that's not it.
And we are leaving it to the tabloids.
Exactly. So when I heard her story, I was like, we have to hear this. We have to know. We have to know about Jerry Opoka, who has said, look, Zumba has changed my life. Women, feel good about yourself. We have to talk about postpartum depression. We have to talk about rape. We have to talk in relationships.
Right.
And I know I stepped on a lot of toes, but
sometimes that's a price.
It's the price you've got to pay. And it's got to be done because it's a reality and we can't keep sticking our heads in the sand.
Okay.
Yeah.